No, Jennifer is his Adobe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Drexel Free Thought Society Weekly Podcast. Now that it is the second portion of the show, we invite anyone who's in the area, or not in the area, or even has a vague interest in talking to us to begin talking to us now. Please. You can email us at drexfreethought@gmail.com. You can call us directly at our Skype account at Drexel Freethought. Just all one word, it doesn't really matter.
Good.
Or you can go on our Facebook, you can get on our Twitter, do whatever you want to communicate with us and make us feel special. But in the likely event of no one actually calling, we're going to just continue our discussion. I kind of wanted to dip more into the ideas around kids. Because unfortunately they're one of religion's worst and most frequent victims.
Alright. Well, as far as atheist children, you mean?
More religious children. The first thing I do
because they're still being persecuted very badly.
No, the thing I just have to say is the general Dawkins thing is that there's no such thing as a religious child. There is merely a child of religious parents.
There's no Christian babies?
There is no Christian babies. There's no Christian children. If you actually ask a child, why they believe in whatever, I would say 90% they'll say because my parents told me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because...
Indoctrination.
Well, not even that. It's just that it's like an identity thing. I remember I go out to certain people and they'll be like, oh, what's your religion? I'll be like, I'm an atheist. And they'll be like, excuse me. And they'll be like, what? No, I mean, seriously, what's your parents' religion? And I'm like, oh, my dad's a Catholic and my mom is sort of whatever about it. She's apathetic. I guess she was a Jew.
She's the apatheist.
And they said, oh, so you're a Catholic or a Jew? And I'm like, no, I'm an atheist. And they're like, so would you consider yourself a Catholic or a Jew? And I'm
what's it?
I would consider myself an atheist.
Would consider myself an atheist. I don't know why you're saying, oh, whatever, you don't get it. That's what these people will say. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
How do you always run into these people and I never do?
I don't know.
I haven't run into too much opposition lately.
I don't see them very often. I've seen one or two people do that to me, but otherwise no one really has done that to me. But that gets on my nerves. That's what? Are you dumb or something?
No, that's a big thing. It's just oh, it's the family religion. It's no, that's so dumb.
Nope. Not at all.
The only reason, I think this is also a Dawkins thing, where it's just the only reason that you are the religion that you are, at least as a young person, is because your parents are. If you were born in the U.S., you have a much greater chance of being some kind of Christian or Jewish or Islamic. If you're born in India, you're Hindi. If you were born 800 years ago in Norway, you'd be Norse, I guess.
If you were born thousands of years ago in pre-Russia, you would be a Zoroastrian.
And if you were born in certain parts of Africa, you believe that the lions and the trees were gods.
It's this is just what would happen. And that's what just makes me ask, why is that religion right? If the only reason you really believe it at all is because you were just born into it, why does that make it correct?
Yeah, a lot of people do that with just about anything. I mean, I think that people do that in general sometimes. Why do you believe it?
And actually, I would agree with that. Because there's a lot of things. I did this all the time growing up. When I saw somebody my family had a dishwasher, but we were always taught to basically clean them and then put them into the dishwasher for some reason. So when I saw people put dirty dishes into the dishwasher, I was just why are you cleaning the dishes wrong?
Yeah.
It's because that's how I was brought up. I was brought up to think that was the correct way to do things.
And though there is nothing wrong with that because it's human habit, humans like to follow a pattern.
Oh, I don't believe that at all.
No, I mean, for something as useless as that.
Just because something's human nature does not mean it's good.
Well, no, it doesn't mean it's good. It just means that it's
It occurs.
understandable.
Okay, that's
It's
fine.
understandable that happens, but it doesn't mean it's good. I mean, for that sort of thing that you said, I don't think it would really make too much of a difference. But if it's about religion and saying, no, you have to do it this way, or you're gonna get stoned or something, or I'm gonna.
So if I don't do this way, I get some cool drugs.
No, not that. I mean, stoned like that.
It's
The Judicial
funny.
Free Thought Society does not take a stance on
Stoned
drug
to
use.
death, not stoned.
I do
Dante's
like
talking.
I do like how David explained the whole wash machine thing because I had a similar experience. This is going to sound really funny with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which I still eat to this day, by the way. But in any case, because whenever I watch my mom make my sandwiches, she always cut them a certain way, and she always used this kind of jelly, this kind of peanut butter, and she separated them. She had a system, and so that's how I learned how to do it. I don't cut my sandwiches anymore; I eat them whole. But in any case, so when I went over to my best friend's house,
Blasphemer.
yeah, I thought he was a blasphemer because the way he made his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, he would cut his. I would cut mine vertically. He would cut his diagonally, and he would use strawberry jelly and crunchy peanut butter, and put both of them on the same slice, and then put the other slice on top. And I'd be like, "Why are you doing that? That's wrong." So like, it's funny because that just came back.
Just spread this out to religious beliefs and make them into adults.
It reminds me.
It's exactly the same mentality.
It is
reminds
scary.
me of that one YouTube video. You've probably seen this by theremin trees.
Doesn't matter. Just go on.
Well, this guy is basically raised in a family, and they said, "Okay, here's an instruction manual. Excuse me. You're supposed to build the cabinet in this certain way, where there's 3 on the bottom, 2 in the middle, and 3 on the top.
Okay.
And make sure that there's a space where the middle is."
Okay.
And then he'll come over Sergey's house, which is his friend, and Sergey has it completely different. And then he tells his parents, "Hey, he had it wrong. He was doing it this way, not like our manual. Like, everyone should do it by our manual." And therefore, he wound up having a fight with him, and his parents said never to talk to that kid again because he's doing it absolutely wrong. That's religion.
That is religion.
There's a dogma
No,
behind it.
you see, that's religion, except one key detail is different. In reality, there were never any shelves.
Yes.
But,
That's real religion.
But since you were taught,
An instruction manual to build imaginary shelves.
since you mentioned
And
something
getting
about
pissed at your
children,
neighbors for building them wrong.
since you mentioned something about children, let's kind of dive into how does a child or a teenager go from being religious to being an atheist, or even atheist, agnostic, whatever. Like, can we explain a little bit of that transition? I mean, we can use ourselves as.
So I never had a transition.
Well, yeah, you never had a transition.
There was a brief period of my life where I appealed to any kind of God, just because everyone basically does that at some point. But eventually, I just realized it's like there's nothing there. There's no reason to think there's anything there. And I think that's basically it. You just kind of grow up and realize that the fantasies you've been told as a kid just don't measure up to scrutiny.
But it's hard to do that, like, say, in the South. And there's a YouTube video. I think it was, I'm not sure if it was in the South or somewhere in the West. I don't remember. But it was like a really big, a primarily Christian area. And this girl, she was like, 13 or 14. I don't remember how people found out she was an atheist, but when they did, she was beat up almost every day. She was mercilessly bullied. They were just like, yeah, you're a heathen. And I think her parents were atheists too. It was like, yeah, your parents are disgusting. Like, they just tortured them.
That's one thing that...
No. Yes, of course that makes people angry. Or it should. But there's a reason for it. And I will divulge that now.
Do so.
This is just my speculation about it. The psychology behind it's really complicated, and I can't make it all in one go.
Besides the hive mentality?
It's not just a hive mentality. It's just if there's one niche in the wall, then the whole thing is going to come crumbling down.
That's a pretty weak wall.
People are afraid.
It is
of
an extremely
differences.
weak wall. No, that's the problem is because if you have anybody that lives a perfectly happy moral life, not believing in God, then what the hell is the God there for? You laugh, but I'm serious.
But that's true, though.
Is it like if this girl is a completely normal, completely happy, moral, productive member of society, then why is your God there? Why do you have to carry all this guilt? You have to destroy the person that questions anything that you do.
I think.
So no,
Sorry.
He's on a roll.
that's why they have to be demonized and they have to be thrown out of society. They have to be declared evil and not examined in any way. Because if anyone else sees that they're perfectly good people, then the religion is just going to fall apart. And everything, the entire community's basis that never was there to begin with, will just crumble around them. And more importantly, the people in power will no longer be in power. And this includes, so this is going to be that was my mini rant about that. This segues into the mini rant about crappy parenting.
Uh-oh.
So
Crappy
forgive me for
parenting.
going into this, but it's like,
the crappy parenting.
it goes into the crappy parenting. Because although people in power are totally like the Pope, the imams that run a community, they're religious people in real power. But parents are in power over their children.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Doing all right, man?
Okay. One of our lovely janitors came in to check our trash as they do at night. Anyway,
Crappy parenting.
this is the problem with really bad parenting.
Crappy.
Is that there are a lot of people that base all of their decisions they make about parenting on their religious beliefs. And if those religious beliefs are shown to be wrong in some way or another, then every decision they made falls apart at the seams. So they're just like, oh, you have to be good because I'm just going to make a parallel with Santa Claus.
Okay.
If your entire life you've been taught the only reason you should be good is because you'll be rewarded by Santa in the future, then you find out, then eventually your parents have to basically continually enforce that Santa exists because that's your only motivation for being good, because your parents have no idea any other way to make you stay good. So then if anyone questions the Santa idea, what do you think the parents would do? They would be like, oh, your older brother is lying. Santa totally exists. Or don't tell your little brother that. You need your little brother to be good. It's like, replace Santa with God. If anyone questions the God idea, all the bases for your terrible parenting will fall apart. And you'll no longer have any basis to say, like, you should be good. The only reason I can come up with for being good is because a God exists. This goes into the community dynamics that are based around religion. This goes around the country dynamics that are based around religion. And this is why atheists and secular people are seen as a far bigger threat than the pedophilia scandal. People say, like the Pope, the last time one of the popes visited the U.S., the first thing they said was, we have to fear secularism. Not saying, oh, my bad for all the child rape. The first thing they said is, we have to worry about the atheists. That's because you can rationalize horrible deeds by terrible people within the church, but you can't rationalize the fact that there are people that are perfectly good without your make-believe God.
And that's actually pretty funny because I'm going to get into the parenting thing that you said.
Go for it.
A great example of bad parents are my parents. And I'd just like to say that
That's
loud and proud. Because...
You might not want to do that on a radio show that's going to be saved on YouTube for the rest of our lives.
Well, there are parents in general that are bad and stuff.
Too late.
Nope, it's already there. I'm telling.
You don't have to tell. The YouTube man is going to tell.
I'm done.
Go ahead.
I'm just not going to say anything. Go ahead.
No, you can go. Just parents in general, go for it.
Okay, yeah. Well, basically, you have a father or a mother saying, you know, what religion says you have to follow. Also, I'm like 15 steps lower, so I'm like the same thing except a lot less powerful. so you also have to follow what I have to say. And in my own idea, a lot of parents do that.
Like the parents derive their authority because it's like God said that you have to listen to me.
Yeah, but it's funny because if you
like
look at a lot of parenting with religious parents, you see a lot of parents actually do that. So it's not just mine; it's a lot of parents that do that.
If you guys recalled the thing from a few years ago when I forgot his name now. Nate Phelps.
Oh yeah.
Came to visit Drexel, and he spoke to us, and it's like the Phelps family. Enormous authority because of God. Like that, and this is not unusual, which is what's so distressing. But yeah, I told you to hold something.
Hierarchy.
Yeah. Okay, so just going off of the hierarchy that Dante mumbled while Richard was talking, there's parts in the Bible that basically directly say that. It's like God is the head of everything, the father is the head of the household, the mother is partially the head of the family, but the father supersedes the mother on all decisions, and the children must be obedient to their mother and father at all times.
One thing that really gets on my nerves is children are meant to be seen and not heard.
Women are meant to be seen and not heard. Pretty much everybody except for the man of the house is supposed to be seen and not heard.
That annoys me.
But then they switch it. But then they switch it around for their own purposes, which leads to the 33,000 denominations of Christianity.
Yep. Because
even more than that, because it goes down to an individual level.
No, if you actually look, and this is more reason why atheists are just annoyed, and personally why I'm just angry, is every single time that the country at large, the U.S. in this reference, decides not unanimously, mostly by polling people kicking and screaming, that something that has been long held is now illegal, the religious people claim it as their own, like it was there all the time. The big thing, slavery, enormously supported by the Bible and extremely justified. The Bible was an extreme justification for the slave trade the entire time it existed. Mm-hmm. And eventually we came to our freaking senses and realized we shouldn't own another human being. Independent morality. And then, once we did that, then it just, everyone, religious folks looked at their toes and were like, we never liked slavery anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then eventually, when we finally got around to giving the people that used to be slaves equal rights in general, which I can't believe was a different thing, and then women, and then soon homosexuals. It's happening slowly, but it's definitely happening. Actually, honestly, it's happening really fast. Yeah. Considering a lot of the other rights issues that have happened in this country. Mm-hmm. In the last couple of years alone, there's been 5 or 6 more states.
I think
the internet helps.
The internet's probably helping.
And possibly more people have brain stems.
And lots of old people are dying. Yeah. I hate to say, I know a lot of awesome old people, but dudes and women's, your old people generation, you're screwing us over. Then now, right after homosexual folk, it's atheists. Eventually, the religion that people are using to justify their terrible ideas is just going to disappear because there's no one left to hate. There's no one left to scapegoat on.
Actually,
we'll find a new reason to hate people.
No, I mean there's going to be new reasons to hate, but there's no more scapegoats.
Yeah.
You can't. The Bible. I'm sure someone's going to try, but you can't use the Bible to justify blaming liberals. Liberals didn't exist in the Bible.
If you really look at it.
Oh, shut up, Richard.
Well, all right. Well, let's bring it a little bit back. So I want to know: do we have any advice for people who are, quote unquote, coming out as atheists? Any advice for these people, especially ones who are being persecuted? Do we have any uplifting advice for these people?
One thing that I can say, that everything that I've read and that I've heard about people, is the moment you let go of that emotional and mental crutch, you will be able to see the world in a magnificent way that you never thought possible. It's now you don't have to look through a veil, effectively, and sometimes literally. of ignorance and forced ideas, you'll be able to see the world for what it actually is. And I have to say that's fantastic. But additionally, this is advice that I've heard a lot of people give, religious people, is that if at any point you think that coming out as an atheist will harm your livelihood, harm your family life, and any of these other things, you have to seriously consider them. And if you think that coming out as an atheist will make your life overall worse, then don't do it. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I know your life situation. And if it's really going to make your life that much worse, then please wait until you're at a point in your life where the benefits outweigh the cost.
It's sort of like if you're homosexual in any way, and your parents
it's like the parallels
are
between
really
the two are really similar, which is really odd.
Yeah, well, I mean, if your parents are really against homosexuality because either A, they've been indoctrinated, or B, they actually have no intelligence whatsoever, then it's best to wait until you're out on your own and financially independent from your parents to come out. And the best thing to do is to come out to your parents once you're at that state in your life when you're able to go out on your own.
Benefit over
just
cost.
like with your being an atheist. If it's going to hurt so much to tell your parents,
financial is definitely an important thing to
you have to understand that you have to
right.
be independent fully and completely before you do anything.
It's like, you guys want to know another reason that I'm really angry?
Sure.
I forget the actual percentage, but I think it's between 1/3 and 2/3 of all homeless teens are homeless because they're homosexual.
Wow.
And it's for almost solely religious reasons.
What?
Yeah. They're like, oh, you happen to love a gender that I personally don't love? Get the hell out of my house.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, those people
That doesn't even make
don't
sense.
deserve to be...
Yeah.
Like, those people don't deserve to be parents.
If you threaten your child with hellfire, and if you threaten to kick your child out because they're gay or an atheist, then you don't deserve to be parents.
I agree. But just on a slightly lighter note, when it comes to friends, the thing is, we all go through lives with, different ideas. We go through different experiences, and the reality is, when you make certain decisions, you're going to lose friends. And actually, I'll go far and limb and say, you didn't lose any friends. You lost a parasite. You lost somebody who was holding you down in the first place. You lost some
baggage.
Yeah, basically, you lost baggage. So the way I see it, because even though I'm an atheist, I have plenty of Muslim friends, I have Christian friends, I have Jewish friends, what have you. But if you are a teenager, adult, child, whatever, and you come out as an atheist, and your friend, quote unquote, disowns you, then you should thank them.
There's actually a Facebook picture thing that was going around for a while that said, like, if you are against gay marriage, like this status. And it said, like, 23 people liked it. Mm. And he commented right after that, thank you, keep liking it. I can figure out which people I can get off my Facebook.
That is brilliant.
That is awesome. I want to put that up on my Facebook.
Is there an atheist version?
Well, I don't know. It's like, do you believe in a god? I don't care if some of my friends believe in gods.
More like I'll put up, like, for example, if you believe that people who do not believe in God should not hold office, like this.
Or like something like that.
Yeah, something that.
If you think homosexuals should be stoned to death.
Yeah,
there's one.
Something of that nature. But
honestly, do you think anyone should be stoned to death? And I'll know which people to get rid of.
but in all seriously, if somebody says I'm not your friend anymore, then just I would reply to them. Then I guess you were never my friend in the first place, and you would go about your business. You are better off without that kind of person. You don't need that kind of person sticking around your life, telling you that you are a heathen and disgusting and brutal and all and immoral and all these other things. When before they even found out you were an atheist, You guys hung out all the time. You guys, had sleepovers. You guys played video games all the time. You drove cars. You talked to women. You go to bars. All these other things. And all of a sudden, a life-changing event is the fact that you do not believe in something that is unsupported. If that was the foundation of your friendship, you never had a friendship in the first place, and you're better off without that person. And trust me, it'll hurt for a while because you had such tight ties with this person, but believe me, you will feel a lot lighter, and the friends that you will have to replace that person will do you a lot more good in the long run. Trust me on that.
I'd have to say that's...
The same goes for family members.
Oh, absolutely. But make sure you are in a position where you can get away. You don't want to be 16 years old, not having a job, not having any money, and your parents kick you out because you don't believe in God. Then, unfortunately, because of the way this system is set up with this society and finances and everything, you're not going to get far. But once you are able to stand on your own 2 feet and you reveal to them that you do not believe in God and they, quote-unquote, disown you, then you are able to say, good. Go about your business. You can live on your own happily ever after, and they don't have to be a part of your life and holding you down anymore. Just do it with some due diligence.
If someone, for any reason, if you're gay or if you're an atheist or, I don't know, whatever it may be, and then, at first they were your friend and they're hanging out with you, and then all of a sudden when you tell them that one thing that, maybe you were born with a tail, and you say, I was born with a tail and I still have it.
Honestly, my first question would be, really sheepishly saying, I'm
like, is it prehensile?
And if someone's gonna defriend you because of that, like Dante said, they weren't really your friend in the first place, and
it's a poor foundation.
And the funny thing is that
the one thing we have to be clear about is there obviously are some people who do go into a friendship or a relationship or, I don't know, have a kid with the expectation that the other one is a religious person as well. Uh-huh. But honestly, I don't think that many people actually make that the foundation. I think they just make that it's a clinching thing in the back of their head. Uh-huh. That they have been pre-programmed that if you find out that anyone is like this, you have to disown them. And honestly, even if it's not a foundational thing, if you know somebody with that enormous of a character flaw, then you shouldn't be around them anyway. I'm talking about the religious person. Yeah. Being an atheist is not a character flaw.
Your morality is messed up, according to a lot of people. But, sometimes you gotta get to that point, who cares what they say?
What are you doing?
Filing my nails.
He doesn't want to scratch anybody.
No, actually, I was trying to stop filing my nails. I was really trying to, because I do it obsessively, and I start biting them again.
Yeah,
so it's damn it, now I have to keep filing.
But that's my advice as far as that's concerned. And especially for you guys who live in a society where atheists can be killed. If you're going to come out, please do it with a lot of care. In fact, I would advise that if you can, at all possible, if you can leave that society, please do so. They do not need your support. They really don't.
They don't need your money. They don't need anything.
No, they don't.
Let them stew in their horrifying ignorance.
Yeah.
And you know what this is angry atheist. What angers me is the fact that me and 2 other people even have to sit here and say this on the radio to tell people that, hey, come out of the closet, and express yourself. The fact that we even have to do that is just ridiculous.
Here's the 2 things that we're talking about. It's the lack of a belief in something. Just anything. It doesn't even matter if it's religious. But you're just talking about the lack of a belief in something, and then saying what kind of person you could love. These are the 2 things we're comparing to each other. And the sheer fact that we have to say that you have to be careful about saying these things, that deserves anger.
It is messed up. It is asinine.
The only reaction should be anger.
And the only reason, the reason why, and this is very good, that homosexuals are becoming more and more easily willing to come out of the closet is because it's becoming more of a normal thing. It's not still, don't get me wrong, it's still not the most normal thing, but at least in some sense, it's easier for them to
People
come out
are
of the
And
closet.
that is wonderful.
And that's very good.
It's just like
Well,
back
we
in-
need to do the same thing about atheism at the same time. We
It-
need
it-
to do
like-
the
It's a
same
bit
thing
tougher.
about
No,
everything.
go back in time. Only a couple decades. Interracial couples not
Oh, yeah.
allowed at all.
It's
Some
still
people
to that
still
point.
look down upon
It's
that.
still to that point.
And it
it's
doesn't
still when, like, my uncle got married to a black woman. And you know what? Most people will be like, "Oh, that's a white guy marrying a black woman." I'm like seeing in my head, like, so many people have said that to me, and I'm like, "Are you nuts?
This is what I
Are
know.
you living in dinosaur period?"
No, you see, when I see an interracial couple walking down the street, I'm just like, oh, that's slightly unusual.
like the-
That's cute.
Well,
It's like
this is
the
how I got. I was like,
Cheerios
look,
thing.
the long-haired person is dating the short-haired person. Wow.
Well, it's
I know. No, that's the thing though. Is okay, like hair.
I know
might
we go
not-
off topic,
No,
but
it's like
here's how.
hair might not be the best example because you can control how long it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's kind of like a blonde-haired person dating a black-haired person.
Yeah.
Or a tall
Yeah.
person dating a short person.
Blue-eyed person dating
These are
brown-eyed
things that
person.
these are exactly the same kind of differences.
well, it's like
Why aren't those bad?
I remember watching the Cheerios commercial that everyone was up in arms about. With the
Which
one
one was this?
Oh, there's an
The
interracial.
one-
There's an interracial couple in a Cheerios commercial.
Yeah, it was an
It was
interracial-
adorable.
What?
And-
Okay, here, Richard, can I just like?
Yeah, go
okay,
ahead.
so for people that don't know about this commercial, which apparently is Dante,
I hate TV.
it was online. You should
I
have
saw
seen
it on
it.
YouTube.
No, okay, so there was just a commercial. It showed like it was adorable. It was like a mother was talking to their little daughter, and
Okay.
you saw the mother was white, and the daughter was like brown colored, like fairly light skinned,
Like caramel
black person.
kinda color?
Yeah,
Okay.
just like saying the tone of color.
All right.
And then it was just like, oh, this is interesting. I wonder where this is going. And then it's just kind of like, it's like, mommy, did Cheerios? You said Cheerios help your heart? It's like, yep, they can do that. And then the daughter runs away, and then a very like dark skinned father wakes up and there's Cheerios all over his chest. So it's like, oh, isn't that
That's
adorable?
cool.
It's like that's adorable.
See
And
that's
no, but you see, people were flipping out that there was an interracial
Why?
couple.
It didn't do anything.
There was a parody commercial that it basically was the exact same commercial, but they were kind of poking fun at it a little more. And then it made it a black woman also, instead of it just being a black guy.
Yeah.
And then she looks up at the camera and it's like, what? Is this worse? Yeah, that was a good parody commercial.
I gotta see that now.
Oh,
I have
although-
to see it.
Although
Wow.
I remember seeing that
It's like
commercial.
all you people that hate homosexual people and hate atheists, you are just as ridiculous as people that don't like that commercial.
Oh, I still remember seeing that commercial.
And history will remember you as such.
I still remember seeing that commercial. Mr. Repzion, this is a YouTuber.
Yeah, I know who he is.
He has a YouTube channel, and he was talking about the Cheerios commercial. First, he said, like, I don't know why everybody's getting so angry. Actually, I do,
I
but
did
I
not
think
hear
it's
about
stupid.
this.
And then he said, here it is, without any explanation why people getting angry over it. And I just saw that commercial, and when I saw the black girl go to the white, she was white, right?
Yeah.
When
She looked kind of
was
like
going
she looked
over
like
the-
Eastern European.
Yeah.
Okay.
When she was going over to the white mother and talking to her, and then the whole entire commercial played through, I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even notice the color of their skin. Like, I just noticed the
You
family.
just notice people.
I just
That's
noticed
what I-
people.
It's like you see, I noticed the color of their
I
skin,
didn't
but I
even
was
notice
just
that. I'm like,
no, like that's
How
fine.
the f-
And I think my reaction's fine. Where I was
Yeah.
just kind of like, oh, they're different. They're an interracial couple. That's cute.
Good.
It's like whatever. That's a neat
But
thing to see during my
when-
days.
It's so funny though, because once I heard why they got angry over this, I'm like, wait.
Yeah, what was
we're-
their actual explanation? Was just that it was an interracial
No,
couple.
that was an
That was it?
interracial couple. And once I
Congratulations,
heard this,
we're in the 50s.
once I heard this, I'm like, wait, they were an interracial couple? All I saw was a family. And then I looked over it again. I literally had to watch the thing again, and I'm like, oh, okay,
much more time we
okay,
have left?
why are you
What?
How much more time we have
angry?
left?
Oh, we have like 10 minutes.
So I wanted to ask, has anyone seen any kind of commercials or even movies that depicts any kind of atheism in a negative way?
I can't think of any.
I can't think of any. And it's funny, as much as atheists are considered to be one of the most.
There's a lot of things that like parody feminists a lot.
Yeah, well, there's
Feminists
good
are
reason
hilarious.
for that, but we're not going to go into that. But it's funny, for the least trusted group, there is. Not that I recall that there's any movies that.
There's a
like,
lot
really,
of things that religious people point out. There's a couple stories that have gone around fairly recently. There's like the professor that stood on top of this chair and said, "If God cannot push me off this chair, then he does not exist." And then there was another one that I heard of, and a soldier that was there punched him in the face and knocked him over and said, "God is protecting our troops, so he has no time to do that." Which my response to that is, he's doing a crappy job of protecting our troops. And you proved the professor right. Congratulations.
I'm trying to think of Prometheus.
There's another one that was there's a couple things. What is
one
that
about
show?
the car engine.
X-Files does a thing
Okay.
where being skeptical about things means you're always wrong.
Wow.
Like I forget that a Scully
Yeah.
is always skeptical that it's not a supernatural thing. And then Mulder is always like, "Oh, it definitely is." And he's always right. It's not really poking fun at atheists, but it's kind of poking fun at science and skepticism. But anyway, there's another straw atheism dude who is like, apparently in the army, there was an atheist like regime. There's like an atheist squad that existed somewhere. And they was just like, "Oh, we're gonna poke fun at this dumb Christian," and they're just like, "Here, start the Jeep and go park it over there." But it's like, I bet you can't do it, ha 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 ha, because it's like I took all the gas out of it, ha 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 ha.
No, you took the entire engine out of it.
No, he said like, "Go do that," and then it's like, "But you better pray to your God that it makes your car work." And then like the guy's praying, and then he starts the car and then drives away and parks it.
Wow.
And then all the people are just like, "Praise be your God." It's like, we actually removed the entire engine.
Wow.
So that's the story. That's complete nonsense, because on a number of levels. First off, where are you ever going to find a squad in the army that is not religious? And second, where will you ever find it's in the religious mindset that atheists are the most obnoxious, evil people that exist in the world.
Well, I am quite sarcastic.
Like, why would you... like, it would take so much effort to remove an engine from a Jeep.
Yeah.
For the sole purpose of making fun of, like, the one religious person.
And it's highly, and me being in the army now, it's highly doubtful that there's an all-atheist squad. That is just
It's like there's an enormous problem in the army right now of having way too many religious people and using religion and using the people's authority to like foist religion on people.
Oh, and about
Luckily, I haven't had that. I've never had that problem. And even when I told the chaplains that I was an atheist, they were okay with it. They still treated me like
Lucky
a human
you,
being
dude.
and stuff. So, like, chaplains never gave me issues. I was like, I don't believe in that stuff, but I still listen to it. Like, I still like whenever we were like talk about the Bible and everything, I would just listen, and he was totally okay with that. And I wasn't forced to pray or anything, because chaplains are technically captains in the military.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually had in the position.
Chaplains are actually officers in the military. Yes.
Oh, that's troubling.
Yep. But they don't. But I've never met it. I've met plenty of chaplains, and they've never forced me to read the Bible. They've never.
No, but they couldn't they?
No, that's a good question. Actually, I can take it up as an IG complaint, which basically means that, hey, I've been discriminated against. This.
Well, yeah, that happens all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, and
no, but I'm just asking, like, if like in the moment, I guess, if a chaplain ordered you to like get down on your knees and pray, would you like be required to do it by rules of? I don't think you can, because that is considered a discriminatory order. Okay. So
from what I know,
it falls under the criteria of things that like you can't be ordered to do.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be You can't be like ordered go kill your squad.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Like, you're not allowed
but
to.
People like to make up their own rules, so. but generally you can't
scares me.
Yeah, but generally when it comes to like religion or color stuff like that, you can't like force all the black people to do this and all the white people to do this and things like that. You can take it up as a formal IG complaint, and that person can be demoted or kicked out, probably imprisoned. So
yeah,
and
let's look up how many times that's actually happened.
Could you say black
quite
people?
a few times actually.
Could you say black people do exactly the same thing as the white people? White people do exactly the same thing as the black people. Go!
It would still be kind of
that seems confusing and pointless.
But I'm trying to remember if Prometheus had anything based on anti-atheism, because like
I still technically haven't seen it, but go ahead.
Because like, well, the main male
spoilers.
The main male character was like more of the atheist type. He was really big into science. He was always jumping around like, yeah, let's do this. And the woman, she was more of like the big believer. Of course, big spoilers. Everybody dies except her, and she still kind of has like this belief thing, but she's really questioning that and the origin of life and everything. But I'm wondering if they made him a cocky. Like, he wasn't really too much of a jerk, but he was like that really loud, outspoken guy. And I'm wondering if they kind of attached that onto him because he didn't believe in
it's like
the
internet
religion.
people try to find any details or information of any media where atheists are portrayed in a negative way. I will post it to the group. I would love to see it.
But that's interesting, though, considering the fact that we're one of the least trusted groups. But there's
there's just like millions of like anti-gay stuff.
Yeah. A ton of it. I mean, most jokes hop around like, hey, that guy's gay, I'm not gay, big outrage and everything, but you almost never hear anything about atheism.
Maybe it's because the people that are making fun of gays or persecuting them in some way know that they have a predisposition
to... they have support.
Wait, maybe it's a visual thing. Like, being an atheist, well, there's really nothing to it.
Back in the day, like if you were in an interracial thing or something, that's a thing you could see.
Yeah,
like,
you can't really see atheism.
You could even see homosexuality because you'd be like holding your boyfriend's hand. Or something.
You can see acts of homosexuality, and it was repulsive.
That's kind of rude to watch.
It's repulsive to see two guys kissing or two women following each other's breasts and stuff like that. But being an atheist, it's like, well, what are you doing as an atheist?
You see this picture of a guy standing there.
Yeah,
it's just like
he's an atheist. How do you know that? Just by looking at that guy. Actually, you can't even tell if somebody is gay or not. Like, you can have a guy.
That's what I'm saying. Is that technically, like, there are homosexual things.
Yeah, they're acts.
Like, you could be holding your boyfriend's hand, kissing your girlfriend if you're a girl.
Yeah.
But then it's like, there is nothing that is atheistic.
Yeah.
It's like taking a stroll down a dewy meadow.
But you can even have a guy. You can even have a picture of a guy wearing leather high-heeled boots and tight pants and a tight leather jacket just standing there, and everybody be like, he's gay. But come to find out, he has a girlfriend.
You can't even.
So you can't even see homosexuality. You can only see acts that may be a result of it, or assumed acts, like him wearing all these clothes and everything.
Nothing exists for atheists.
Yeah, so I can't think of one thing that would.
It's
other than me wearing a shirt that says, and even that's not 100% proof, says that God sucks. For all it could be just a pissed off Christian. I can't stand. I believe in God, but I can't stand him. I hate him. And I actually knew somebody who believed in God but hated him. He was flat out just like,
to be fair, if you hate God, you do believe in him.
Yeah, he believes in God, but he hates him.
So that's a common thing that's thrown at atheists. It's like, oh, you're not an atheist, you just hate God. It's like, no, I can't hate something I don't think exists. That's like saying I hate the magic purple unicorn.
You're a devil worshipper, but
I don't believe in what?
That used to be a big thing. If you were an atheist, you were a devil worshipper, or you were possessed by the devil,
or you're gay.
Or you're it's always the gay thing. Why do I keep throwing that in?
I can't wait for the day when gay stops being an insult. First off, it's not. If you call me gay, I'll just giggle at you.
Like when
it's like, David McDevitt, you're so gay. You love guys. It's like, no, I don't.
I just laugh.
That's just silly.
Whenever somebody calls me gay, I just laugh. It's like,
even then, it would just be like, it's just like, honestly, I probably wouldn't go that route. Because it would just be like, you're gay. It's like, so? What you gonna do about it? You want to make out? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you effing...
Would it be kind of homophobic or just...
All right, we have 20 seconds. Sorry.
Close
thank you all for joining us. We are the Drexel Free Thought Society. I hope this was an enlightening, interesting subject. Find us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Or follow us on Twitter. Find us on Facebook. Go check out our website. Check us on YouTube. Thanks for joining us again. Goodbye, everyone. Have a nice day.
It's okay to be an atheist.
Potatoes.